Welcome back to Ben's Garage Livestream. Yet again, another Sunday evening. Glorious weather outside and I'm stuck indoors. But, yeah, just had dinner. So, Tina's been out watering the garden. So that's all getting under control. So, Sunday, May the 17th, I believe. Hang on. Yeah. 17th of May. It's been a bit of a week this week. We've been let out of lockdown, or the rules were relaxed slightly. Tina went shopping. She went shopping just before they stopped the lockdown, and she said people were starting to relax a little bit then. You know, with not socially distancing and all that kind of thing in the shops. Not that many people wearing masks. Good evening, Aaron. Then she went the other day to get some bits and pieces. She said you wouldn't even know we was locked down. There's no queuing up outside the supermarket anymore because they used to have security guards on the door. One in, one out, one in sort of thing. That's all gone. People were just mingling in and out willy-nilly. Only about a third of the people were wearing masks. It just seems to be that they've said, we've released you from lockdown, and all these people think that the virus has gone overnight. I'm not quite sure how that works, but I don't know where all the people are tonight, actually. Say that, I've only just started. Yeah. Says there's 3 of you on so far. Excuse me a minute. Yeah, so I'm not quite sure. I mean, we see it on the news as well. All these places are getting, crowds and this, that, and the other. The virus hasn't just disappeared, has it? So it says to me that we're going to be in for a second wave. Hopefully, I'm wrong. Give it a month or so, all the numbers will start going back up again. But what can you do? What can you do? We're all right here in our own little bubble. But yes, it's been quite a nice day today. It has been very blowy. We couldn't get on with the greenhouse today. We did go out and we started to see about putting the panels in. It's got like polycarbonate panels that just slide in. But we've got to get them in and then get the roof on to sort of sturdy it up because the wind just whips up across the field. And we put one panel in and the back of the greenhouse was going like this. And of course, I'm not a lot good sat in the wheelchair, so all I could do was just hold on to the frame, and Tina was doing it. But she was, because it was so blowy, she was having a job because she had to get up on the scaffolding to reach the top. And as she was like trying to slide the panels down in the grooves on the frame, they was just, the wind was taking them. So we gave that up as a bit of a bad job for today. But yeah, so yeah, what we've been doing this week? Well, we was released from lockdown on Monday. We had a little ride over to Mum and Dad's and had lunch with them. It was Dad's birthday on Thursday, so we got over there before then. Had a little bit of lunch with them, and then spent the afternoon there. So that was quite nice. Picked up my air rifle, so that'll be a little bit of a video. I've had to order some pellets for it because I can't get any pellets for it in France, so I've had to order some from eBay. But I've started doing my target range out in the field. I've banked up some earth where we've dug out all the vegetable beds. We've got a lot of dirt, so I've pushed it all over there with the digger, mounding it up, and I'll have my target set up in front. and Tina can do her bow and arrow over there as well, because if she misses the target, then the arrows will just go into the dirt bank at the back, and they won't just sort of shoot across, hit the floor, and gone. So yeah, I'm waiting for some pellets to turn up for that air rifle. I'm going to do a video on it, but there's something a little bit wrong with it. I'm going to have to strip it down. I can get parts for it apparently, because it's a Benjamin Sheridan air rifle, but I think Benjamin Sheridan was bought out by Crosman, and Crosman still do the parts for them on their website. So hopefully there's a few different variants of the rifle. So, and it's a pump up one as well. You got 8 pumps. So yeah, that'll be good. From what I can remember, the last time I shot it, it was quite accurate. It's got a little scope on it. Hang on, I'll go and get it. Bolt action. You got to pump it up. Like so. It's got a bit of a sight on it. I don't know what make the sight is. It just says Silver Crown on it. There's no, doesn't tell you what the magnification is or anything. But this is a .20 air rifle. Not a 177, and it's not a 22. It's a .20, which is 5mm. They don't make it in this caliber anymore. They still, you can still get this rifle in 177 or a 22. And then the plan is, if I can strip it down and get all the parts for it and do it up, then I'll strip the wood and we'll refinish the wood. Apparently it's walnut. Yeah. So I'll put it back now. Okay. All right, Ludo. All right. Wait, there you go. So that was the air rifle. You've seen the other guns anyway, so I'm not going to get all them out today. But yeah, so it's nice to have that back. I've got some targets coming. I've got some pellets coming. And we'll get the. I've got some fence posts already, so we're going to whack some posts into the ground, get all the targets fixed up, and we'll have a bit of a shooting session outside and see how. I haven't got a chronograph or anything, so I don't know what power the rifle puts out, but they reckon it's about nearly 700 feet per second, which is, you know, it's not too bad for the sort of rifle it is. They reckon it's all right for small pest and small game. I don't think I'd want to, unless you was like really accurate, I don't think you'd want to shoot anything bigger than a pigeon. But we don't shoot animals unless they start pinching our carrots or potatoes. Anyway, so that's the air rifle. Got that back. We're going to get all that sorted out. That'll be a video on the other channel, on the Mad Dog Farm channel. I've got a few videos on that channel. I'm struggling to get around to the car. I did a video on the flower mower engine. That's arrived, and I got out there, put oil in it, got it all up and running, ran it for a good few minutes, and let it warm up, revved it up, and it all runs fine. So all I need to do now is take the old engine off and bolt the new one on, and then I've got a bit of a mammoth welding session to do on the flower mower. Of course, the flower mower video hasn't done very well because it's not Range Rover. If I put out a Range Rover video, they seem to do really well. But we went out, I took the camera out to do the Range Rover the other day, and I pulled myself up. The trouble is, Tina wanted to do something indoors, and I wanted to do something on the car, but the job that she was doing indoors was sort of like quite important. It was down in the cellar. She was spraying all the beams in the floor. Basically, it's like a treatment, a wood treatment, preserver type thing. So she was spraying all that. So, of course, she's down in the dungeon. Of course, I get set up on the car and I need a spanner or I need something. Of course, when it comes to giving Tina a shout, she's nowhere to be seen. So I sort of said, well, I'll tell you what, you get the floor done and I cut the grass. So I had a toodle on round on the tractor for an hour or so. Most enjoyable. Yeah, it's looking quite nice outside with grass cut. We do, I don't know if you've seen the videos on the grass cutting. We'll do 4 laps around the field, and the field has really grown really nice. It's all meadowy and flowers, and I've got a drone video which I'll probably release tomorrow. The drone video over on the Mad Dog Farm channel. The farmers were out getting their silage in over the road, and I've got some footage of flying around the field and that. And yeah, it's all coming really nice now in the field, because last year, obviously, we just kept cutting it, and we left a couple of patches for wildflowers, for all the insects and the bees and all that kind of thing. This year, we've just done the 4 laps around the field and the bit of grass out the house, side the house here. The rest of it, we've just let it grow meadow, and the amount of flowers that's in it is unbelievable. It's really, really nice. So, we do our little bit for the insects and the bees. As I've said before, Tina wants to keep bees, but this year we've just not got onto it. Possibly if we get all the vegetable garden sorted and up and running, so next year it's just going to be a case of going over it with the rotavator and planting stuff in there. She'll have more time to get the bees, because we've sort of got a rough area where we were going to keep them. And that'll be very nice, our own honey. Ooh. I used to know a chap who used to keep bees. He had 2 beehives, I think. A certain time of the year, he got sunflower honey. And then later on in the year, he got chestnut honey. Depends on where the bees were getting their sort of nectar, pollen and that from. The sunflower honey was really nice. And the chestnut honey, some people didn't like it, but it had like a really sort of strong flavour. Really, really nice. I couldn't eat as much of the chestnut honey as I could the sunflower honey. But so we're hoping to keep bees. Or Tina, she's desperate to do it. So we'll have to wait and see. I don't know what flavour. If we've got a load of chili plants out there, we might get some chili flavoured honey. Those chili plants in the other room are going mental, so we really need to get this greenhouse done. But we're getting there. We're getting there slowly but surely. We're going to order some chalk for the garage and the greenhouse base sometime this week, next week even. I've still got to get in the garage with the digger and just dig a little bit more out and have a shifty about. We'll get a load of chalk dropped off. I've got to dig a trench as well to run a water pipe and the electric into the garage, just under the wall, and put a trench across the garage to go up the back wall. We can fill that all back in then, and then once we've done that, the chalk that we get delivered I can just start bucketing with the digger into the garage, level it off. And we get one of the whacker plates out, because we've got 2 lovely brand new whacker plates out the back. I only ordered 1, but they delivered 2. So I didn't say anything, and they never asked for the other one back. So we've got 2 whacker plates, brand new, never been used. I don't think they've even got any oil in. So we're going to get one of those out and get that all oiled up and running. And probably sell the other one. But it was a bit of a Brucey bonus, that was. Don't often have good luck like that, but when it happens, it's very, very good. So, yeah, we will be getting on with the car. I'll possibly do it tomorrow, to be honest, because it's a southerly wind, and when the southerly wind comes across the field, and of course we've got the greenhouse up there, and it just picks up speed. And when you're trying to get those polycarbonate panels in, it just acts like a sail. You're like, way. So yeah, if it's a nice day, I mean, it's supposed to be nice, but it's just breezy and gusty. That's the trouble. It's gusty. If it was a constant breeze or no breeze, it would be fine. But it's because it's gust. What's that dog doing? Crazy hound. Yeah, because it's a gusty breeze. It catches you out. You're sitting there, and we're sat outside. I did a bit to the camera, and I set the time lapse up. I thought, yeah, we'll get a bit of time lapse, getting all the greenhouse done. We sat there, and then it would pick up, nearly blow me out of the wheelchair, and then it would drop absolutely as still as you like. And it's like, all right, okay, and then it would all pick up again. So it's like, do you know what? Let's do it another day. So that's how we left it. But having said that, I've been not quite productive, but for a Sunday, we've got a bit done, actually. I made some piccalilli. Again. This time I put chilies in it. So it should be it's not too spicy. I've tasted a little bit. You've got to leave it in the jars for 6 to 8 weeks. I made some in March, and we've just opened one of the jars up, and it is absolutely beautiful. So 6 to 8 weeks, we can open one of these other jars up. I mean, if I've got through the other lot. But yeah, really, really nice. It's got just a little kick of chili. Not too much that it's like, but yeah. I've had some chili oil on my lunch today, actually, and it was hot, really hot. It was burning my mouth, and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to check my blood pressure. My blood pressure always used to be a little bit on the high side anyway, but so I'm on these pills, so it the beta blockers basically lowers your heart rate, brings your pressure down. So I thought, well, I've been checking my pressure regularly. It's been like 12/7, 12/8, 13/7, 13/8, around about there. So anyway, I had this hot chili on my lunch, and it was really hot, and my head went like a beetroot. I thought, do you know what? I'm going to check my blood pressure. And it was 17/8, flashing away in the red zone. But I reckon eating chilies is good for you. It's good for your metabolism. Oh, I don't know about that. But yeah, we got some super hot chilies growing in the other room. We've got Carolina Reapers, which are supposed to be the hottest chili in the world, at sort of 2.2 million Scovilles. Now, if you're not into your chilies, just the general chili that you'd get in the supermarket, a little red chili, 40,000 Scovilles. You know, that would... A jalapeno is about 8,000 Scovilles. And they just give you a little tingle on the tongue. Nothing much. 40,000 is, you know, you can feel it. You get something like a Scotch bonnet, they're about 350,000 to 450,000. Depends, you know, they do vary a little bit from plant to plant. So the Scotch bonnet, you could be about 350,000, which could be quite hot. And we got Scotch bonnet habaneros that are around. Habaneros about the same. Then we've got boot jolokia, Carolina Reaper. These are all the ones that we've got in the freezer. The Carolina Reaper is supposed to be 2.2 million Scovilles, which is super hot. But they're a funny sort of chili because when you eat them, they don't sort of hit you straight away. Whereas a boot jolokia, when you they call that another one name for that is the ghost pepper. When you eat that straight away in your mouth, it's like on fire, and it's like bloody hell. But the Carolina Reaper, I mean, I've heard people calling it the creeping Reaper because you eat it, nothing, and you think, oh, that's all right, and then it starts coming and coming, and it just doesn't give up, and it keeps coming and coming and coming until you're like sweating and. So we're very careful putting those on any food, you know. But there was a point, not last year, the year before, where we was eating a lot of chilies, and we was putting chilies in everything. But because we had sort of a year off of growing them and stuff, I mean, we still had some in the freezer. But you do get used to them. And then because we had a year off, I'm not used to them anymore. So I've got to start building that tolerance back up again. Yeah. That was a court. And the one was at lunchtime today. My little sister, her and her husband, I don't know if it's her or her husband, when they go to like these cheap pound shops and that, they see like these selections of like chili sauce and stuff like that, and they send them out to France for me because they know I like chilies and hot stuff. So if they send mum and dad a parcel, or mum and dad come back from the UK, they normally bring some stuff that my little sister's got out of the shop. This time it was chili oil. There was 3 bottles of oil. There was a medium, there was a mild, like a really mild one, a medium one, and a extra hot. No, mild, hot, and extra hot. Well, I've got the extra hot left because it is. She got me these other little ones. There was like 2 little skulls. One was like a garlic chili sauce, and the other one is a chipotle. The chipotle one is really hot. And this is just like cheap stuff out of a pound shop. But yeah, some good stuff about. Definitely clear your sinuses, that's for sure, and other things. But I ain't going to go into that one tonight. I suppose I ought to do this, really, didn't I? Ben's Garage. If you go over to bensgarage.org, you can get all our merch over there. No pressure to buy or anything. Oh, I shouldn't say that. I absolutely hate that word, merch. It's merchandise. Bits and pieces for sale. Tina's just shouted through. Merch? I don't know what it is. It's when people say it on YouTube, it's like, oh, it makes you cringe. Go and check out my merch. Geezer. No, so yeah, we've got some Ben's Garage stuff for sale. Oh dear. So yes, how is lockdown? Well, it's not lockdown anymore. I don't know if you've been released in the UK yet. Have they been released in the UK? Eased up. Yeah. They've not. There are still rules in place that we've got to follow. Gatherings of so many people, you're not allowed. You can go to. I can't remember what they are anyway. Tina and all. 10 people. Gatherings of 10 people. You can meet your family, but you got to treat it as if you was going out somewhere. So masks, no hugs, no kisses, none of that. We can travel up to 100 kilometres from our house without having to print off an attestation. Before, we had to print off something to say, name and address, date and time, and state the purpose of your little tool off out in the car. Whether it was going to shopping, going to the doctor, or this, that, and the other. Now we don't have to do that, and we can go up to 100 kilometres from our house as long as it's in our department. No, region. Well, so we can go into another department.
We can, but we wouldn't be able to.
Why?
Because it's more than 100 kilometres away.
Not going the other way, it isn't. We can get to the Charente.
Yeah, that's in the New Aquitaine.
So it's not Limousin and Charente then?
No, it's New Aquitaine.
Oh, they've changed everything in France. You had regions and you had departments, didn't you?
Departments, we've always had regions and departments.
Yeah, but now the region is one big region now, isn't it?
Well, we're still
Yeah, but we're in the Nouvelle Aquitaine.
Yeah, but the Limousin is its own region still, but within the Grand region.
Right, so we live in the Limousin. And in the Limousin is a region. And in the region, you've got departments. So we've got the Haute-Vienne, which is the region we live in. Department. Limousin is the region. And there's departments. So Haute-Vienne is one department, which is what we live in. Carrez is another one, which Mum and Dad used to live in. And Cruz, is it?
Yeah.
And that's just three, isn't it, Limousin?
Just the three on the
Where we used to live was the Poitou-Charentes, and that had the Charente, Charente-Maritime, Vienne. Was that it?
Yeah, because the Dordogne is a different one.
Dordogne is Gironde, isn't it?
Yeah, Gironde.
I don't know. But so, yeah.
But you can travel outside your region as long as it's no more than 100 kilometres.
Well, what was that they was talking about? You couldn't...
Originally, they were thinking that they were going to keep it so you had to stay in your department.
Oh,
and
yeah.
then your region.
They keep changing their minds like the weather.
Yeah, but no, now you can travel anywhere up to 100 kilometres circle from your house as the crow flies.
So as the crow flies, 100 kilometres in any direction you can travel without having to state a reason.
But you need your proof of address.
But you need proof. But you'll have that in your car anyway because you've got to carry all your car documents over here. Yeah, so that's one of the things that we can do now. We can go shopping without having to print off a bit of paper. And Tina went shopping the other day and she was disgusted. People just treating it as nothing had ever happened. Very few people were wearing masks and gloves. The one out, one in thing that was all gone, finished. So yeah, the virus is gone apparently. I don't think it has, but I don't know. It's still quite nice weather outside. Yeah, still blowy. But tonight, after I've finished this live stream and it's got dark, I'm actually going to go outside and with my camera and do some astrophotography. I've never done it before, but I want to get I want to do an astro time lapse using the slider that's behind me. If you can see it over my shoulder, just there. I can set basically that it's all computerized. You can set up your A and B points and this, that, and the other, and then I've got to take some photos first to work out the best settings for the camera for that particular thing that I want to take a picture of, and then I can calculate the settings on the slider to do a time lapse, and it'll just keep moving along and taking a picture. So hopefully that will come out quite good. It gets dark about 10:30. Well, even 10:30, it was. I could still see light over the back of the trees. Of course, we're an hour in front of the UK, so yeah, 10:30. About 11 o'clock, the street light outside switches off. So really, I need to sort of be outside, getting it all set up, and then when the street light goes off, then I can start doing it because it's going to be a clear night tonight. So hopefully, when the street light goes off, it's proper blackout here, and we'll get a good thing of the sky with all the stars. Oh, very good, very good. As I say, I've never done it before, but we're going to give it a go tonight. Wrap up warm. It shouldn't get too cold out there. I've not used this camera for such a long time. It looks a bit big, and it is big. It's quite heavy, but I don't like all these little tiny things with little buttons on, and like something you can get in your hands, don't you? I actually had to read some of the instructions earlier because it's been that long since I've used it. I put it on live view on the rear screen, on the back screen there, You can put it on live view so that you can see, I can close the eyepiece off and put it on live view. I couldn't zoom into it because obviously when you're focusing on the stars, I'm going to need to, can't be looking through the eyepiece when it's on the gimbal, on the slider. So I want to do it on the screen, but I couldn't zoom in and then make it larger. Oh, I was scratching my head. Anyway, I've got the instructions on the computer and scrolling through that for about 10-20 minutes, and all it was one bleeding button. But yeah, we'll get back into taking the old pictures again at some point. I used to take loads of photos. When I first came out of hospital, actually, I've got a nice big long zoom lens. I used to take quite a few pictures of the birds eating on the bird table and all that kind of thing. So now sort of I've really got into, making videos and stuff. I've not been taking pictures, but we'll get back into it. Oh, yes. But it is a big, heavy camera. It's got 2 batteries in it. With a pro lens. By modern standards, it is old-fashioned. This one, obviously, Tina bought me this. It was an upgrade from my last one. I had the Olympus E1, I had that brand new. It was only 5 megapixels, but they were quality megapixels. Because I think with a lot of cameras nowadays, it's like a race as to who can have the most megapixels and this, that, and the other. But it means nothing, megapixels, unless you want to blow up a picture. Go on the side of a bus or something like that. Even then, it's not really necessary. What you need is quality megapixels, not the amount of them. And obviously, you've got a good sensor, good lens on it. You don't need 20 odd megapixels, 40 megapixels, 60 megapixels, whatever they're up to now. I don't know. Anyway, this Olympus, it's one of the old 4/3 bodies. The E1 was a 4/3. This is the E3. They had one after this, which was the E5. And then they went to the micro 4/3, which they're a lot smaller. But I like a big old camera. But that one doesn't do video at all. No video function on it. So, yeah, we're going to go and do that tonight. Hopefully, we'll get some good results. I shall stitch them all together on one of the programs I've got in here, Lightroom or Photoshop or something. I can all do all the editing. I can edit one photo and sync the edits across all of them. I'm not sure how many photos I'll get. If I shoot in RAW, I might be speaking a foreign language to a lot of you lot. I don't know if you're into cameras at all. But, yeah, so that'll be a bit of an experience. So it'll be a late night tonight. I should have done it in the winter when it gets dark at 6 o'clock or 5 o'clock. Yeah, but not to worry. It's not like I've got to get up for school in the morning, is it? Or work. I know it's Sunday night. Sunday nights used to be... what did they... Have to polish all the school shoes ready for the morning. Obviously, have a bath. Get your uniform ready. Quite often we used to have cooked toast and crumpets on the open fire in the front room. I always remember that. And then, of course, it was Antiques Roadshow on a Sunday night, which Mum and Dad used to watch. And I think, at some point, Dick King Smith was on a Sunday night. I can't remember now. I'll have to... Let me Google it. Let's see when Dick King Smith used to be on the telly with his little dog. Dick King Smith. Well, I found him on Wikipedia. Blah, 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 blah. Life, awards, works. I don't know. He did so much stuff. I'm sure there used to be a program with him on it on a Sunday night. He used to have his little dog. Someone might come along and tell me what it was at some point, but who knows? So yeah, that's pretty much about it for this week. I said last fortnight. I've forgotten what we have done, to be honest. All the wood's turned up to do the ramp outside. So we're going to hopefully get out there and do that at some point, because the temporary one that we did has basically fallen apart. I don't know what has happened. The screws that we used have just pulled clean out of the wood on some of it. But we have got some proper good decking screws for this next version of the ramp. We've got some nice big beams over in the up by the shed, 4 meters long, so we'll probably have to cut them up a little bit. But so we've have some beams running down from the platform out up towards the road, and then we can put the decking on top of that. I'm going to leave a little gap between each one, and yeah, hopefully that'll be a bit. We ordered the decking, or Tina ordered it, and it said it had grooves on it, so we was expecting it to turn up with grooves on. It's turned up and it's smooth wood, which will be all right for me. But if it gets wet out there, and it might get a bit slippery if you're walking up and down it, we might have to look at doing something with it in the future once we get it done, obviously. So that'll probably be another job for this week. Get that done, because I'm not quite sure how long that other one's going to last. Oh, dearie me. But yeah, so that's that little job. Still got the car to do. And we've had the TDV8 for a year now. Over a year, just over a year. So it's due for a service. It's not going to get one just yet, because we've only done probably about 3,000 kilometres in it. No, 4,000, I think. Just over 4,000 kilometres. Which... How many miles is 4,000 kilometres?
2,485.48 miles.
2,500 miles we've done in a year. It will get a service, because I want to do a service every year, but it's not desperate. You know, we'll get round to it at some point. We've got other more important jobs to do first, so we've got to get the other we've got to get the TD6 fixed so that we can go and pick the trailer up. Get the garage done. I keep saying this every time we do a live stream. We'll do this, we'll do that, we'll do this, we'll do that. And then I'll come back in a fortnight's time and I'm still saying the same thing. But it's the way it goes, isn't it? There's always something. If there's something's going to go wrong, for us, it tends to. We've just got used to it now. But, yeah. I don't know. But, yeah, we've got the flower mower engine, as I've said. We managed to get the flower mower out the other day because it was all in the long grass. And Tina has got some squashes growing. She wants to grow the squash up the fence because they climb up the fence and then the squashes just hang. So where she wants to do that is up by the garage, because on these fence posts she's got the strawberries in hanging baskets. So we was clearing. Got the flower mower out the other day. That was all grass all up round it. The gang mower's still sat there, so I tried pulling it with the thing, but as I was pulling it, the back wheels come up in the air, and the gangs just sort of tipped up and dug into the ground. So I had to I was trying to move it with a digger, so I had to move around the back of it and just keep pushing it forwards. So that's out in the middle of the garden now. I want to fold the gangs up and we'll get it parked up nice and neat. So when the garage is done, we'll get it moved into the garage, and that'll be a bit of a project. Strip that down, find out why it won't drive. It drives backwards, but it won't go forwards very well now. Now, when I first got it, it did every now and again sort of lose a bit of drive. It used to go grrr if you was trying to go up hills or something like that. It's gradually got worse. So I've got you can't get, there's no manuals for it. It's a Ransom's Motor Triple Mark IV, which is the latest one they did. It's got the Kubota diesel engine in it. There was never any manuals for it because the Ransom's dealers all sent their technicians back to the factory for training. So there was never any manuals, workshop manuals or anything like that. I have managed to get hold of a parts catalogue which has got all the exploded diagrams with the part numbers and everything. So hopefully I can sort of work out, looking at the picture, what I need to be taking apart to find out what the drive is. The gearbox it's pretty straightforward. It's forwards or backwards. There's no gears. The speed is done on the pulleys that run on the engine. It's got like a variable pulley thing. As you pull the lever back, you've got a travel lever, which you've got number 1, number 2. I don't know if it's got number 3 in it, but number 3 is for travel. So when you pull it back into number 3, you don't want the cutters going, basically. Evening, Oliver. But so the gearbox is pretty basic. It's you push it forwards or it goes backwards. So the speed, as I said, is done on the belt. So as you pull the travel lever back, there's 2 belts. There's a belt coming off the engine, and there's a belt that runs down to the flywheel, which goes to the final drive unit, which does the blades and the gearbox. Now, as you pull the travel lever back, the belt from the engine gets pulled tight. Is that right? That gets pulled tight and it pushes a pulley over to one side, which makes the belt that goes down to the final drive go to the outside of the pulley, if you can understand what I'm saying. It's complicated to describe it, but it's basic when you sort of look at it. As you pull it back, one belt goes down in the groove and it pushes the pulley over, and the belt on the outside comes to the outer edge of the pulley so that it goes faster. Yeah. So that's how your speed's done. So the gearbox, there's not a lot in it. You've got forwards and you've got backwards, because that's all the gearbox does is your forward and backwards motion on the front wheels. And I think the final drive unit does the obviously it's a takeoff to the gearbox, but it's also for turning the blades as well. The front gangs, there's a chain. There's obviously a cog somewhere, because that's a big like double width chain which runs round, and they're connected up with UJs. The gang that's underneath, the middle one, that's driven off a belt. So it's all complicated stuff, but it's basic complicated, if you know what I mean. It's properly over-engineered for what it is. Everything's really heavy on it. You know, it's big chunky UJs on the front, and it is a strong bit of kit. And once I can get it driving again, it does a really nice job of cutting the grass. So when we get doing the 4 laps of the field, I could probably do that in 1.5, because it's a 7'2" wide cut. Yeah, 7 foot 2 inches. So it doesn't take a lot of cutting, and because it's the gang mower, the cassette reels, you know, for it's not a cylinder mower. Yeah, it does a nice job. If you let the grass get too long, it just clumps it up. It sort of flings it out the back, but it leaves it in big lumps. If you do it quite regular, say if you did it once a week, it would be fine. You just get nice little clippings and yeah, and it'll look nice. But it does cut it short. That is the trouble. Whereas when we do it with the tractor, it looks short, but it's not. It is quite long. So we've got Oliver in now. How was your tea? What did you have tonight? I sent him a message saying we're live streaming in 3 minutes. He said, "Oh, I have my tea." Oh, okay. Tonight, I cooked it, and Tina made some. We did chicken chow mein, and Tina made the noodles from scratch. I bought her a noodle maker, but the dough that she'd got was a little bit stiff, and it wouldn't go through. So she rolled it out with a pasta machine and just cut it with a spaghetti cutter on the pasta machine. Cooked them up, drained them off, chucked them in the wok with the chow mein. Pucker ding, absolutely marvellous. Meatballs, very nice. Is it nice in a meatball? Oh, I did some meatballs a few weeks ago, actually. They were quite nice. In like a tomatoey sauce. Very nice, very nice. So that's probably pretty much about it, really. As far as news goes, I'm trying to think what else. There's nothing else to tell you. I don't know. What do we know, Tina? We don't know anything, do we? No. Oh, diesel's fairly cheap. Tina filled the Range Rover up the other day. We was down to about half a tank, and it cost €45 to fill it up. Do you know what it was a litre? €1.13 a litre. Yeah, we have been out. We went over to see Mum and Dad just before. What day did we go there? Wednesday. We went Wednesday because it was forecast to rain all day Wednesday. So I said, we'll go to see Mum and Dad because we couldn't really do anything because it was piddling out of rain all day. So that's where we went. Had a little drive out, and that is the first time I've been out since the 15th of March. Yeah, I haven't missed it at all, really. It's nice to get out and have a drive in the car, and to see Mum and Dad, obviously. But yeah, I don't know if they're on at the moment, and I don't know if they can see these comments if you watch the live stream back after it's happened. I don't know if you can still see the comments. Yeah, but I think I'm more vulnerable than they are. What with my kidneys and all that palaver. But yeah, went over and see them. They had the fire on, which was quite toasty in there, actually. I had to sit at the other end of the room. But yeah, very nice lunch. That was our main meal for the day, so I had seconds. And came home that night, and we had cheese and biscuits. Because why not? But now, in France, with all this pandemic and whatever going on, was it the French government that said buy more cheese? Yeah, the French government were urging people to buy more cheese to support the cheese trade. And Tina went shopping the other day. She said the cheese was nearly empty. But she did buy quite a lot of cheese, actually. In fact, quite a lot of cheese. But we like a bit of cheese. Goes well with my piccalilli that I made. Seafront was packed. Were they socially distanced? Oliver, he said the seafront was packed. Yeah. Socially distanced. Were they wearing masks? No social distancing. I don't know about masks. Mask, gloves. everything just seems to be back to normal. I don't know why people think that the virus is gone miraculously overnight, but I know. Corona, here we come. Yes, I think this is just because the hospitals are obviously they've caught up, haven't they? Basically, numbers have sort of leveled out. Hospitals have caught up. Let's release people. Let's get a few more to get the virus. A bit more herd immunity. Yeah, they've got 65% to go apparently, according to the Oracle in the other room. But yeah, so I suppose at some point we're all going to get it. Not sure. I might have already had it last year, but who knows? I was as rough as arseholes last year, and we did have the doctor out, and she said, "Oh, bronchitis or this, that, and the other," but nobody was looking for it then. No tests were done. I did pick up, and I'm as right as rain now. But was it that, or was it not? Who knows? But yeah, at some point, I believe it's just the way that the governments are trying to do it. They want everybody to have it, don't they? But we shan't go into politics too much on here tonight, because we shall, upset some people, I'm no doubt. But yes, we're still getting cases in the Nouvelle Aquitaine, which is sort of like this big part of Western France. We've had, where was it a cluster of people the other day? Yeah, how many? 34. And how did they? What was that gathering from?
Oh no, that was that wasn't religion. It was a workplace.
All right. Yeah, we had a bit of a.
The Loire today, which was an in-person religious gathering.
Where was that?
The Loire, it's up north.
All right. So quite close to us in the Dordogne, about 45 minutes away. They had a bit of a cluster the other day. That was at a workplace. And today up north somewhere, they've got another group of people have got the virus at a religious gathering. Now, I don't. But these people must be absolutely desperate. I mean, these people that queue up for bloody McDonald's, what is wrong with them? Jesus. I mean, if you can't make a decent burger at home, there is something seriously wrong with you. To want to go and sit outside bloody McDonald's in a queue for a sloppy old burger made out of sawdust. Oh, dearie me. Tina was telling me about a protest in London. People was getting arrested in, was it Hyde Park or somewhere like that? Protesting against their civil liberty rights and this, that and the other, and we need to be getting outside. And yeah, you get yourself outside, mingle with your friends, get the virus. Trouble is, it's not so much them getting the virus, it's they get it and pass it on to someone who can't cope with it. Like a vulnerable person. They're the people that are going to suffer, not the people that have gone out protesting. Yeah, thick as shit. Thick as shit and twice as wide. But, yeah. What is this world coming to? I think we're just going to get ourselves as self-sufficient as possibly can. And put some big fences round. Oh, Mick Ness is on. Good evening, Mick. Oh, now he's turned up. Look, I better switch my timer on. Hang on. There we go. Timer's on. You got an hour. So, yes. I can't be on for too long tonight because I've got to get set. I've got to get myself outside and set up for my astrophotography session. Never done it before, but we're going to give it a whirl. I've got all my batteries charged up. England versus Scotland game. Game of what? Euro 96. You're a bit behind there. By 24 years. I remember Euro 96. Not that I follow football at all. I really have got no interest in football whatsoever. But we was in the pub, I think, quite often when the football matches were on. Was that when England thrashed Germany? Euro 96? 5-0 or something. I vaguely remember something about that. We was in the pub, so probably half pissed. Get the Starlink on film. I've not actually seen this Starlink business. Let me just have a look on Google and see where the Starlink is tonight. Am I going to see it or not? What should we put here? Where to see Starlink? We shall have a look. Findstarlink.com. Select your location. We'll do it by name because I don't know longitude or latitude. Oh, come on. I've got to scroll through bloody... Oh, I need France, don't I? Then I suppose I've got to look for the closest place to us. Christ, there's a lot of countries on here. H, G. Oh, there's a lot of G's. France, Toulouse, Toulon, Strasbourg, Saint-Étienne, Rennes, Reims, Paris, Nice, Nantes, Montpellier, Marseille, Lyon, Lille, Le Havre, Grenoble, Dijon, Brest, Bordeaux. Where's closest to us? Where's closer, Tina? Lyon or Bordeaux? Let's go for Bordeaux. Find visible times. Sunset, 9:27. Oh, I don't... Well, that's a load of good, isn't it? Sorry, the newest Starlink isn't very visible at your location during the next 5 days. This might change in the coming weeks. Well, I ain't going to say that then, am I? That's that one out the window. But it is when the street light goes off, of course, because we've got a street light outside the house. When that goes off, it is pitch black out there. It's as dark as you like. Absolutely spotlessly clear night. We're going to see the Milky Way and everything out there. So hopefully I can get some good pictures, and then I'm going to do a time lapse. If you can see over my shoulder, I've got the slider all mounted up on the tripod ready. I've got my big camera. All batteries are charged. So I've just got to get out there, take a couple of pictures to get the settings right, and then I can set the time lapse going. Yeah, you have to touch your toes for that one. Yeah, we got the pasta video out just for you, Mick. and the Hobbit hasn't relieved me of €2 yet. Having said that, she's got my bank card, so oh, bugger. Tomorrow, well, that tracker said that I won't be able to see the Starlink for the next 5 days. So, have you found it on a tracker then that I should be able to see it? I mean, we can see a hell of a lot of satellites out there. I mean, I've not been out looking at the stars for quite a long time. But, Tina's got this bloody great telescope here. Yeah, there's like 3 trains. What do you mean? Like 3 lots of them going over? So I've not been following all this Starlink business, so I don't really know what it's all about. I've seen people taking pictures of like blurry lights going across the sky. So if I see it, I see it. If I don't, I don't. But I'm hoping to get some nice pictures of the Milky Way if we can see it out there tonight. It is clear. It'd be nice to get some really good shots. But I have done some nighttime photography before, but I've not done it for a long time, and I really can't remember how to use this bleeding camera. So it's going to be a bit of trial and error tonight. I'll take a couple of shots to get the settings right, and hopefully we'll get a nice time lapse all across the sky. Very nice. But so that'll be later on when it's dark. But I was. No, we've got the engine, and I've run it up, put oil in it, got it running. We dragged the flail mower out the long grass the other day. So at some point during the week, I'm going to get out there and swap the engines over. It's only a 5-minute job. It's 4 bolts and it comes off. So that's how I've got all the other bits off it already. But I'll get that bolted on, get the belts on, run it up, let it run for half hour to an hour, and then I'm going to change the oil in it because although it's a Honda copy, this Lifan engine. A lot of people say that it's best to change the oil after about half hour, just in case there's any sort of swarf or anything left over from when it was made. I don't know. It seems pretty good quality, and from what I did some research on Lifan, and apparently Lifan was set up years ago by Honda as a research arm of the company. But then they sort of just took off, started producing engines, which were Honda copies, and started flogging them for half the price of a Honda engine. So once I've got the engine on, all bolted on, run it up, I've got a lot of welding to do on it. So hopefully we can get the big MIG welder up, take it up there on the digger, and get it all welded up, and weld a new drawbar onto it so that I can tow it round with the tractor. So it'll save the Range Rover having to do it with the Range Rover. It's all right doing it with the Range Rover, but I want to take it all through the wild patch here and through the woods. And the Range Rover is all right, but it's not quite as manoeuvrable as the tractor. So I think it'll be better behind the tractor. Yeah, it started up. First flick of the key. If you've seen the video, you'll know. But absolutely fantastic. And it sounded really sort of tight, if you know what I mean. Like the old engine was all right. It fired up fine, but it always sounded like a bag of spanners. But this one, it sort of sounds nice. And so we'll keep our fingers crossed. We're hoping for good things. But yes, and that'll be another bit of kit that we've got fixed. Eh? Yeah. Well, we've got so many bits of machinery out there that don't work. I'm I'm still waiting for this chap to get back to me about this steering wheel. He said, "Oh, I think I've got one." I said, "How about postage to France?" And he said, "Oh, send me your address and I'll get you a price." So I got back to him, sent him the address, nothing. So I sent it to him again, just in case he didn't get the first one, nothing. So I'll give it a few days and then send him another email. Hope he's got a steering wheel, make it quite nice. A round steering wheel is always good. It's not a bleeding Allegro. I think she's on strike tonight. Actually, there's no biscuits. We're winding down. We've had a bit of a week. We've not gone silly. We went to Mum and Dad's because we couldn't get to Mum and Dad's for Easter because we were locked down. We was given our Easter eggs, so we had one each. Yeah, it took me 2 nights to finish my Easter egg. Next week we're going to be good. Not eating any crap and trying to get some of this weight shifted. So we're just gradually winding it down. No treats tonight, but we must be getting due for another cup of tea soon. Yeah, she's gonna. She just shouted out. She's gonna get on with it. Yeah, so all looking good. She did get some ingredients for. It is a dry old shift. I've had to resort to the old water bottle a couple of times, which is it's not the answer, is it? But she had the pasta machine out again tonight. She'd already made. She did macaroni cheese yesterday, which was absolutely gorgeous. She's got the dough just right now. It goes through the machine and it keeps the shapes and they don't stick together. So we had macaroni cheese, but she made the pasta dough, portioned up half of it, put half in the fridge, did the macaroni. Tonight we had chicken chow mein. Well, of course, egg noodles, it's almost the same as the pasta dough. It was a bit stiff for the noodle machine. It's got like a noodle. It's like a tube with holes in the end, and you wind the thing in. It obviously forces the dough out the bottom. The dough was a little bit too stiff for the noodle maker, so she put it through the pasta machine and cut it up as spaghetti. Cooked the spaghetti up, drained it out, chucked it in the wok, and chow mein noodles. Absolutely fantastic. I'll do a bit of a trick with the chicken now. I found a bit of a trick on the chicken on one of these websites I was looking at. And it tastes absolutely superb. It's got just the right texture. I know, well, what do you buy the lady who has everything? Something else for a kitchen? Eh? Oh, she's got a bit of a thing for knives. I bought her a load of knives for Christmas, thinking that she'd throw the old ones out. Oh, no. No. She's put the magnet up on the wall. She hangs them up on the wall. Oh, this looks promising.
Can never have enough knives in the house.
So I thought, yeah, she's put all the knives up on the magnetic strip. Thought she'll clear the drawer out now. No. Oh, thanks for that. Yeah, she won't chuck nothing out. But so she does like knives and she likes kitchen utensils. But having said that, the pasta machine is worth its weight in gold because fresh pasta is, oh my word, superb. Pucker-ding. So, yes, we like all stuff like that. Kitchen tools for making food. But, I like tools for the garage. But, yeah. Sun's just starting to go down now. It said sunset was at 9:27 in France. Obviously, the sun goes down. It doesn't get dark then, does it? But I'm just looking out across the meadowy field out here. And cows are in the field next door. I can see just two big fat arses in the field. But, I'm getting a bit bunged up tonight. I don't know what that's all about. But, yeah. So, I don't know what she's on about. I don't know if you can hear that, if this microphone picks that up. I think she's lost the plot. The ramp. As I was explaining earlier, all the wood has turned up for the ramp. The permanent wood, not the temporary wood. The temporary wood hasn't lasted at all. The screws we used have all pulled out. Absolute garbage. It could have been something to do with the wood as well. But yeah, we've got the new decking, planks. We've got the beams that are... The beams we got were to do the floor in that room. But what we're going to do in that room is just concrete the floor. Because underneath the floor in that room, there's a very little space. This floor, it's quite high off the... You can get under the floor and have a little party under there. But in there, in the front there, there's not a lot under the floorboards. So we're going to... we've got the beams because the floor's dropped in there because it's... the joists are rotten. So we've got some new joists, but we're not going to be using those now because we're going to concrete the floor. So we're just going to use those beams, cut them up. We was going to make it out of concrete, but we'll try it out of wood first. Tina went online and found these decking planks quite cheap, so we'll crack on with that. Hopefully during the week, but we've got a lot on this week. What we're trying to get the greenhouse done, get the TD6 done, do the ramp. Tina's out Wednesday morning, and this is all weather dependent as well. We can't finish the greenhouse until the wind stops. If it rains, I can't do the car. But we'll get there. We will get there in the end. But yeah, I don't know. These things are sent to try us. Well, I know what's going to happen. It's going to come walking up it, and one of the planks is going to flick up and twat him on the knee or something.
No, like it'd be poor old Suzanne.
Yeah.
There you go.
Thank you, Tina.
You're very welcome. Getting nagged from all sides. Kira's coming straight back in.
I'm not missing the TD6, but it would be nice to have it running. Ooh. If the yellow line on the hill descent switch illuminates when selected on your L322. Mine doesn't, but I thought it used to. Joe, I've put hill descent in a few times. I've never looked at the switch to see if anything was illuminated because it comes up on the dashboard. There's a picture of a car going downhill. It tells you you've got your hill descent on. I don't know. I don't think the switch illuminates, but I could be wrong. So it's just something I've never looked at because I've pushed the button. It's come up on the dashboard. So I've never looked at the switch because, it tells you banging in front of you that it's on or not. So I do not know. But yeah, I say the TD6. It'd be nice if it was running. We've got to go and pick the trailer up because the trailer would be handy around here. We've got some piles of dirt that we picked up out of the greenhouse they're in a spot where I can't really start pushing them over to the woods with the digger because there's too many obstacles. So if we could just drive the trailer up to it, I'll pick the dirt up, put it in the trailer. We can go around. I can just go around and scrape it out the back of the thingy. Yeah, say on the display as the icon, but I really have not. I don't think I've ever looked at the switch to see if the switch illuminates. Sorry about that. Can't help you with that one. Yeah, so we've got the battery to charge up again on the TD6 because obviously it's been sat there and doing nothing. But so we've got that C-Tech charger now, which has got the reconditioning thing on it. So we shall recondition the battery, get it charged up, and then I've got the trailer socket adapter for keeping the battery trickle charged. So we'll park it up somewhere where there's a power socket. Eventually, we'll have power in the garage, and I'll probably have an outside socket and run some power out and have the car plugged in all the time, just trickle charging it. If you've seen our dogs, Ludo and Kira, they are the biggest pair of numpties going. They wouldn't know what a truffle was if it jumped up and bit them. Yeah, see you soon. Talking to the dogs, Tina's just walking them now. Yeah, no, I don't know about truffles. I think that it's certain areas in France that have truffles, and obviously under certain trees. But our two dogs are so bloody useless. It's, you know, they're useless at useful things. They're good at not so useful things. But, I'm bunged up tonight. I don't know what's going on. Oh. Hopefully, I'm not coming down with something. Oh, it's a bit hot yet. Yeah, so yeah, I don't even know what trees truffles are under. Is it oak trees? Hang on, I'll ask Siri. What trees do truffles grow under?
I found this on the web.
Oh, do you know what? Siri is bloody useless. I found this on the web. And then you start calling him names. Come on, what trees does it grow under? Come on. Tree roots. Diamond of the kitchen. Cultivation. Come on, what trees do they grow under? We used to get PG tips because we had an English shop up the road from us at our old house. But in the supermarket, you can get, I think they call it a breakfast tea over here, which is pretty much like your English tea. I think it's Lipton's. It's not a fancy tea. It's not flavoured or anything like Earl Grey or one of these fruity teas. It's nothing like that. It is just a proper cup of tea. Because that's all I drink. I can't get my nose anywhere near coffee. But I can't find what trees. Black truffle. Black truffles are associated with oaks, hazelnut, cherry, and other deciduous trees and are harvested in late autumn and winter. Well, there you go, black truffles. We'll have a look for some black truffles. Tina wants some pigs, so I think pigs are good at finding them, aren't they? We could be sitting on a gold mine, couldn't we? All them truffles out there. Kitchen diamonds, they call it diamond of the kitchen, according to some French gastronomy expert. I think I've had truffle before, but I don't know. Oh, goats. Why does everyone keep saying we need goats? All these people that say you want goats, have you ever had goats? We've had goats, and they're a pain in the arse. Not quite as bad as sheep. Sheep really are bad. Because if there is any way out, a sheep will find it, and the rest of the twats will follow. Tina wants a goat. But it's just aggro, innit? Milk, well, aggro for her. I'm thinking of Tina. Because, you know, obviously I can't do a lot, stuck in a wheelchair. But, yeah, we've had goats, we've had sheep, we've had pigs, we've had horses, we've had chickens, ducks, geese. What else did we have? I think that's covered all of them, innit? We didn't have a cow. We never had a cow. But we got 3 cows in the field down there. I think they're all pregnant. There's, 3 of them. When we had goats, we used to have a stake with a chain on it. We used to put the goat on the grass verge, the other side of the house. This is when we lived in Lincolnshire. We was on a crossroads, and over the other side, there was no houses. It was just a big grass verge. And we used to go over there in the morning, stake the goat out, leave it there all day. And you come back and you'd have a big circle with all the grass cut down nice. But they're as thick as shit because they just keep going round and round and round, and the chain gets shorter and shorter. Even though it had a swivelly thing on it, a goat will still cock that up. So you have to go out there and wind it all the way back round again. Come on, goat, follow me. Oh, pigs were alright. We used to keep the pigs in. One of them bit me once. Grabbed hold of my leg, so I twatted that on the head and it let go. But they're vicious pigs. The chickens got in with the pigs one day, and the pigs were like rockets, went straight to chickens and just ate them. I've never seen anything like it. Crunched them up. Gone. It's like, whoa, what happened there? But they used to crunch house bricks, because we had the pigs in the garden next door to us, because we had the cottage next door, and that was like an old garden, and Dad had fenced it off, and the pigs were in there. There was all sorts of crap in there, house bricks. They used to crunch house bricks like it was a bit of sherbet. Yeah, the goat was called Kylie. I think the one we had, Mum and Dad had in France, was called Justine. But I don't think they could work out what sex it was. So it started off Justin, and then it was Justine. But, yeah. We had the goat we had in the UK, that had 2 kids. And I can't remember what we called them. I'm normally good with my memory. I normally remember everything, but I can't remember what they were called. There's no sign of Gary tonight, so we could be fairly safe. Digging a bigger pond. Trouble is, we've dug a big hole up there for my off-road track, taking the Range Rover around, and we can't. The water doesn't stay in it. So if we was to dig a pond, we'd have to line it with either a pond liner or get some clay and do it properly. I'm not big into fish. I don't mind fish and chips. But I'm not struck on fish too much. Mackerel in a tin, I don't mind that. But as soon as I get a fish bone, No. I then start dissecting the whole thing while I'm eating it, looking for more fish bones. I think that goes back 2 years ago when I was little. Grandma was doing us fish, and I'm sure that I said to her, "Is it? There's no bones in it?" And she said, "No, I've taken all the bones out." I've got this recollection of her saying that. Anyway, we get home, we're eating this fish. I get a bone stuck in my throat. Mum and Dad was trying to force it down, get me to eat like dry bread to force it down, or all this that. I don't know if they could see it, but it was just stuck across my throat. Oh. Anyway, I always remember Dad taking me to the hospital in his van because he had a Bedford CF van at the time, and I remember sitting in it because I only had my slippers on, and I thought, this is really weird. We're going out and I've got my slippers on. Of course, they put the old forceps down the throat, got hold of it, and pulled it out. And ever since then, I've had a bit of a thing against fish bones. So, but I do like fish. I'm not into fishing or anything like that. I have been fishing quite a bit, but I wouldn't say I'm a fisherman at all. Do it for a bit of fun, messing about. But, yeah, so I think we was to dig a big pond. Tina wants a pond down the bottom. She wants to grow a willow tree, a weeping willow, over a pond, all nice, blah, blah, blah. But I don't know if we're going to have to line it with a pond liner or get some clay in and line it with that or what. We'll have to... Yeah, I did. I think I had other clothes on. It wasn't just slippers. No. And I don't think it was even pyjamas. I think I was dressed. I remember going to hospital once with my brother. I don't know what he did. I don't know what... What did you do, Ollie? Can you remember? I don't think he broke his arm, but they put it in a sling. This was when we was living down in Kent, so this was going back years and years ago, so he probably won't even remember that. But I remember going to the hospital and seeing him looking over him. Can't have been very old. And put a sling on him. He was probably chucking himself about. Stuck in a chair. Ah. That wasn't on, to be honest. Stuck in a chair. I got stuck in the chair. We had these dining room chairs, and if you're messing around on them, the base used to come out. So, of course, it did it to me. My arse went down, my legs went up, and it sort of folded me up in the chair. The base had fallen out, and so I'm sort of stuck in it. Rather than help me get out of it, my dad thought it would be funny to pick me and the chair up and stick me out on the front doorstep. Thanks for that, Dad. Oh, dear. So, if you wonder where we get it from, look no further than our father. Yeah. We have done some silly things on motorbikes. The silliest thing we ever did on a motorbike was laying down on the floor so that Ollie could jump over us. Yeah. Luckily, he didn't hit any of us. It could have been on one of those videos, couldn't it, where he crashed into the last person or something. But yeah, I don't know. Things we used to get up to. Is this cup of tea cooled down yet? Yeah, but I think Ollie used to throw himself about a little bit, and he might have just sprained his arm or something. And that's why we ended up going to hospital with him. But that was a long time ago. Drive through a greenhouse. Oh, dear. We could drive through ours at the minute. It's got no glass in it. Oh. Well, I crashed the Fizzy. The old Yamaha Fizzy. Who remembers those? Absolutely stormer of a bike. The pedals were fixed on mine. You couldn't pedal it. But Of course, at the time, all my mates was getting like the new in thing, which was like the AR-50 and the MT5, 35, 40 miles an hour, flat out. I had my 1975 FS1E. Everyone took the piss out of it because it just looked old. It had chrome mudguard on the front, a big old rack on the back, big straight handlebars. Oh, look at that bloody old thing. And, of course, I just used to leave them for dead. The thing used to do 60 miles an hour, and when the others are only doing 35, 40, it's like, see you later. I took it up into town to get a MOT on it, and he used to take it for a ride up the road. He says, "Oh, it goes well, doesn't it?" He says, "I couldn't get it to stop." I says, "No, put your feet down." But I crashed that. I crashed that off road actually. Anyway, I RD250. I didn't crash that. First big bike I had was a TRX 850, and I crashed that. We was out with a couple of lads, and we was up near Grimsby somewhere, and we come up to a roundabout, and the lad in front never ever used to stop at roundabouts, especially if there was nothing coming. Anyway, I'm looking to my right because I was expecting him to have gone. I looked to my right, looked forward again, there's nothing coming, looked forward, and he'd stopped in front of me, so I grabbed on the brakes, and I stopped so fast, my front wheel just touched his back wheel, and because I stopped so fast, I just lost my balance and it fell over. Oh, okay. So anyway, that was the first time I dropped that. And then I was coming home from my lunch one day, because I used to go home for lunch from the garage. Coming around this corner, and this car, the truck and trailer, pulled out on a bend, pulled out from the left, going across the right. So I come around the corner, they're all the way across the road, on the brakes. I just went in a straight line and hit the trailer. So I got off the bike and it stayed where it was, because the front wheel had gone under the trailer and the fairing had gone over it. So that was that. Anyway, they fixed it on the insurance. And I say then the ZX7, I crashed that into the back of a car. That ZX7 spent more time on its side than any other bike I've had. It used to just blow over in the wind. I don't know if it used to put the side stand down. It used to have a bit of lean to it, but it must have just caught the wind or something, because it used to just blow over. I used to come out from work and it'd be lying on its side. I thought, what the bloody hell's going on here? Anyway, yeah, then I'll crash the fire. But oh, no. Yeah, crash the fire blade. Anyway, that's motorbikes for you. How's the TD6 going? It's still in the same position it was. I went out the other day to make a start on the TD6, but as I was saying earlier on, Tina was working. She was down in the cellar spraying all the floor joists with wood preservative stuff. And I knew what would happen. I'd get set up on the car, and then I'd need a spanner that I didn't have, and I'd have to call Tina to go back to the toolbox and get that. So I just gave that up as a bad job, and I went and cut the grass instead while she sprayed the floor. So I'm planning on getting onto it this week. Somebody suggested, rather than take all the rocker cover off, to underneath the bonnet on the driver's side, because that's a UK car, so it's right-hand drive. On the driver's side under the bonnet, you've got a big plastic box where all the wires go into it. Somebody suggested to disconnect the wires and move that box out of the way. Then you can get your hands down. And I had a look the other day. If I take that box off and just unclips the big cables that run down the side of the chassis, I should be able to get my hands down there to disconnect the intercooler hose. Well, I don't know if you've seen any previous videos on the TD6, but when we was driving it over to Mama and Dad's, the I think it's the intercooler hose exploded. The turbo's still whistling away, but it's got no boost. And there was a very loud pop. So it's been a bit of a... the first video I did on it, part 1, which was starting to take all the top of the engine off, because it's the BMW engine and the turbo is underneath the air filter housing. Now the air filter housing is all part of the rocker cover. Well done, BMW. But anyway, a lot of people are saying that you had to take the rocker cover off to get to it. Which, to take the rocker cover off, you've got to take the inlet manifold off, take all 6 injectors out, and then you can take the rocker cover off and get down on top of the turbo. Somebody has suggested that there's another easier way of getting down to it, which I've looked at, and it does look like I should be able to do it. So we're going to give that a whirl during the week. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get the hose off. If that has gone, if it's popped, got a split in it, I can then order a new one, and I'll probably just stick a silicone hose on it. Hang on. Check into bensgarage.org for all your bits and pieces for sale. I'm waiting for a comment from Mick asking when I'm going to plug the mug. Yeah, let's go back to this other one. Yeah, well, they obviously don't want people fixing stuff, do they? But, yeah, we'll get there. We will get there. So I've got that to do. I'm probably going to give that a service. It still drives. I mean, we got it back from Mum and Dad's with the... Nice one, Ollie. Bit of spannering. Have you been out on the boat now you've been unquarantined? Christmas plug for merchants. Well, I ought to start doing the Christmas merchandise in a couple of months' time. Tina keeps reminding. She says, it'll soon be Christmas. Where did you go on your boat? Anywhere nice? It's all right for some, innit? You've got a boat down on the harbour. Huh. How the other half live? Bloody super yacht. Christ. I'm doing something wrong. But, yeah. Torquay Brixham and back. Very nice. So what was wrong with your alternator? Oh, Christ. You've not had it for 5 minutes. Margate. Down to Margate. Bring your buckets of spades. You probably won't be able to hear it, but the crickets out there are really loud tonight. It slid along the rail bit, so belt came off. Oh. So why are you selling it? You ain't had it 5 minutes. Don't tell me. You're getting a bigger one. He'll come back at me in a minute. Or... Oh, why is that? Is it not fast enough? Oh, I don't know. Change his mind like the bloody weather. Boats not look good to me, Ollie, because we're... Say no more. You can't get a mini kitchen on a rib. Well, just get a bigger boat. Simples. I don't know. I'll tell you what you need to get. Get a nice big speedboat with an inboard V8. That'll do you a treat. And you can tow the banana boat up and down the seafront and charge for rides. Ship? I wouldn't go on a bloody ship. Not in a minute. Maxed out for that harbour. Let's go to a different harbour. What's happened here? Oh, do you know what? When I changed cameras and put the website banner on, and I've come back to this camera, this bloody reset the timer. I ain't having that. I ain't going to do another hour. Let's switch that off. I've only just realised that. I thought 55 minutes. Oh, I don't know. Oh, I thought you was giving up the boat life. But going back to a rib. Are you going to get a big rib with a steering wheel? Or a little rib with an outboard with a... Time flies. It certainly does. It's May the 17th already. And it will soon be Christmas. I've already put in my order for my Christmas presents. Well, I haven't. I've been browsing, to give her some ideas. 5.5 meters with seats. Yeah. And you get one with a roof as well. There's nothing worse than getting wet, is there? Yeah, we're allowed out to the shops. We could have gone to the shops before, but obviously it was only shops. The only shops that were open were ones like supermarkets and stuff for food and bits and pieces. That I think they've started opening up other shops, but we don't need to print off a bit of paper now to say that we're going out. We can just go out to the shops willy-nilly. Tina went out there the other day and she said it's like nothing had ever happened. There was no security on the door, one out, one in. That's all gone. Half the people, more than half the people weren't wearing masks. Tina looks like a bloody ninja when she goes out. She puts the paper mask on and she's got a cloth mask over it, hat, scarf, coat, gloves. And then she changes before she gets back in the car. You just can't be too bloody careful, can you? But, yeah. It's just starting to get dark out there now, so we'll just got to have a look, because there was a really bright star out there the other day. Oh, it's out there again. There's like a planet or something out there. I don't know what it is. Let me ask Siri. Let's see what this pillock has to say. What is the bright planet in the sky at the moment?
Here's what I found.
Oh. Here we go. Here's what I found on the website. Oh, get out of it, adverts. Get out of it. Southeast to south. That's south. Never eat shredded wheat. Never eat shredded wheat. Ha ha. Jupiter. Well, this one says... oh, it is Jupiter. Southeast to south. Well, it's sort of over there. May 2020. Pre-dawn and the dawn sky. Well, it's not pre-dawn, is it? It's dusk and nightfall. At dusk and nightfall, we can see Venus, Betelgeuse, and Capella. I don't know what I'm talking about. I'm just reading off names. Obviously, I know what Venus is. Betelgeuse is a star on Orion's... Was it on Orion's belt? Betelgeuse? And when I was in the UK, the last year I was in the UK, I was lodging with friends. He was well into his astronomy, and he was telling me all these different things about all these different stars. And Betelgeuse is like, obviously, it's a sun, basically. Really bright. And he said they don't know if it was due to go supernova. And when it does go supernova, you should be able to see it during the day. Hang on. Bananarama might have sung it, yeah. Who sang the song Venus?
Venus is by Nestle.
Nestle? Yeah, but they didn't do it originally. Who sang Venus originally?
Venus originally by Bananarama, featuring Dana Ellen, is by Kids Sing.
It wasn't Bananarama originally, was it? Siri is a twat. Got me thinking now. Shocking Blue. Of course it was. It was on the tip of my tongue. I used to play it. Shocking Blue. Bananarama did cover it. But the name was eluding me. T's gone. Sign of age. Well, yeah. Most songs, I was pretty good at pop quizzes and all that kind of thing. But, yeah, I had it in the back of my head. I was thinking Martha and the Muffins. But I thought, no, because they were Echo Beach. And, but I could visualise them. I could see them. But, yeah, Shocking Blue did Venus originally. Anyway, that's just a bit of random trivia. But, yeah, so there's a really bright one out there. It said it could have been Venus. Yes, that's how we got onto this, wasn't it? But then in the dawn sky, it said Jupiter. Let's have a look. Dusk and nightfall, Venus, Betelgeuse, blah, blah, blah. Southeast to south. We've still got Buzz, actually. I've got it here. You'll have to come over, Ollie, and we'll play it again. So apparently, we can see 5 bright planets in May 2020. Jupiter, Saturn and Mars. How's that 5 planets? That's 3 planets. And 1 hour after sunset, in the west, over there, we should be able to see Venus and Mercury. And then, in the west, 75 minutes after sunset, we should be able to see Venus and Mercury. Oh, 1 hour after sunset. So, yeah, I'm thinking that one up there is Venus. So, whether it'll still be there when I get out there with a camera, who knows? But I'm hoping that we'll get the old Milky Way up there tonight. Pardon me. She put extra bubbles in that cup of tea tonight. So who's the famous one then? Him or me? Yeah, Ollie, because he's got the super yacht. Yeah. Or me, am I famous because I'm on YouTube? I've not had anyone in the street yet recognise me. Having said that, I've never been out in the street over here. Not here in this house. But, yeah. I don't know. Yeah, it won't be long. Christmas will be here. We've had our birthdays. Well, yeah. With fame comes that price. I'm not sure where the wealth comes into it because, you know, if you know how much I earn on YouTube, it wouldn't keep you in, what? I don't know. Wouldn't keep you in newspapers, I don't think. A good month for me on YouTube, if I'm putting out a lot of Range Rover content, is €70, perhaps. I've had a couple of bad months because we've not been putting the Range Rover content out, and for whatever reason, other videos just don't seem to get the views. Where, you know, it's still spannering videos, but no, like that, the flower mower engine. Time for a new engine. You know, I've done all the searches for the keywords and this, that, and the other. If people don't watch it straight away and start interacting, either liking it, commenting, or anything like that, YouTube just doesn't push the video. So it is a bit of a strange one. But then I put out a Range Rover video. The last one, it's up to nearly 2,000 views, which for a big YouTube channel is rubbish. But for me, that's quite good. Still, we're not in it for the money. We're in it because we enjoy it. And that's that. So, I think it's getting close to... yeah, thank you very much for hitting that thumbs up. All helps the channel. Subscribe if you haven't already. Yeah, so the more interaction you get on your videos, YouTube just seems to push it out towards more people. If you share it and all that kind of thing. I'll have to have a look actually, because I got these mugs, but I think I've got them on Vistaprint. Like, there is a mug available on one of my websites, but I'll have a look. Yeah, these I'm sure these ones were I did them on my own from Vistaprint, but yeah, I'll have to look on the website that I use. Was it Teespring or something like that? There is some on there, but I've not looked at it for a while, so I'll have to refamiliarise myself. If you go over to bensgarage.org. Yeah. All bits and pieces. Well, if he's getting rid of his boat, even he's getting a bloody blow up one this time. I'll have to send you a car sticker, Ollie. I'll send you one for your truck, one for your van, one for your motorbike, and one for your boat. Yeah, I don't know if it still fills up with water. One of his boats used to fill up with water. Was that your old rib? I can't remember now. I think he had a cover for it, but didn't put it on, and it used to fill up with water, and he had to go down there and bail it out. He'll tell me in a minute, I'm sure. But I should think this boat you've got now has got a bilge pump, has it? You would like to think so, being a proper boat. Didn't have an auto bilge. Oh, there's nothing worse, is there, than not having an auto bilge? Yeah, and cover. But for the cover to work, Ollie, you've got to put it on. I had a boat once. I never put it in the water. I used to tow it behind my car. I bought it dirt cheap. Oh, thinking about it now, it could have been stolen. No, it wasn't stolen. Can't have been. But I bought it cheap from a bloke who used to come in the garage, and he said, "I've got a speedboat. Do you want to buy it?" He said, "It's on a trailer, brand new trailer," and it was a brand new trailer. And I went and had a look at it, and I gave him £250 for it because he was obviously desperate. And it had this silly little 2 or 3 horsepower outboard engine. It had all the Mercury controls for a Mercury outboard and the steering wheel and everything. And this poxy little outboard, and I never did put it in the water. Radio controlled aircraft. Ollie used to fly. He had planes. I've got the drone, which is good enough for me because I can send it up and just let it hover. I don't know if I'd get a bit confused with a plane because going away and then coming back. On the drone I used to have, you could put it in what they call Headless Mode, which the controls worked as if you was flying away and then coming back or something, and it really confused me. But with the drone, I could just fly it forwards, fly it back, side to side. You know, I can fly it around like a what's name, but if I let go of it, it just hovers. Did he have the auto restart? I think there was electric ones he had. I think he did get a petrol one. But I don't think he ever flew it. Are you still there, Oliver? Did you ever fly that petrol plane you had? I know he had electric one, like battery-powered ones. But I think he had a petrol one, but you had to go up the flying club and have instruction to fly it or something. And he had the simulator on his computer that you do with the controls. That's right, yeah, because you didn't have your lessons. Did you ever have it running? Was it auto start, or did you have to flick it? Well, that is the question. But because I hadn't glued the wings together. I remember Ollie used to have a radio-controlled glider. Him and Dad spent hours building it, all out of this balsa wood and everything, covered it in this fabric, had an electric motor on it, used to have the electric motor to get it up to a height and then you could glide down. Anyway, I think he got a bit impatient, took it over the field to try and fly it. Got going, and it started stalling. And he went up and it stalled, landed on the road, broke into bits. I think Dad fixed it up, and Tina's in the other room. Just keeping a lid on it today. Yeah, they fixed his glider up. I don't know if you ever did fly it properly, but yeah, that was an ill-fated flight. Oh dear. Anyway, I digress. Yeah, no, Tina's in the other room. She's probably reading the news, reading about all these different countries and how they're cocking up with their lockdown. And I remember you saying you had an electric Spitfire, and it was probably a little bit advanced for a beginner. I did think about getting one, but I thought wherever I've been, there's not been a lot of open space because at the time, Mum and Dad had a lot of trees when I was living over there. Then they had the trees cleared, and so there was a lot of space. But since then, yeah. So I'm quite happy with the drone. Actually, flying about with the drone is quite good. The only downside, it loses signal quite easy because it's on Wi-Fi. And then they've just brought out the new DJI Mavic Air 2, which they've gone to OcuSync, which is what the Phantom 4 Pro and the Mavic Pro, they're on OcuSync. Now, the new Mavic Air 2 can go 10 kilometers. You're not supposed to fly out of line of sight, so 10 kilometers would be no good to me anyway. But it would be nice to be able to get over the trees without losing signal. But I can go into the settings and change the... what's this? We're not on that TV program with an arrow. The arrow being a dart. Oh, you've lost me on that one, Mick. What was the show? The only show I know with darts was Bullseye. So, yes, I've been sat on here now for 2 hours and 3 minutes. I'm thinking it's about time I called it a night. I've about exhausted all my topics. There was a plane with an RC plane and a dart. I know that one passed me by, I think. I don't know what that was. Until you tell me, and then I'll go, of course it was. But no, I've no idea. Yeah. You've stumped me on that one. So I think... Start about motorbikes. We've done motorbikes. I'm going to get off because it's just gone 10 o'clock. It's starting to get dark outside. I'm going to get the camera out there. Well, I'm going to wrap up warm first. What? Is it cold outside? Fleece and a Gillette then? Yeah. Metros are better. Metros, bloody Metros. I sold my Metro to Oliver. Ultimate bird puller? Yeah. It was a real babe magnet. Not quite as much as the Jeep was. Yeah, I've not seen this SkyTrain thing yet. Banging car. Yeah. Yeah, I'll get out there and have a look for this Starlink jobby. I was watching a video actually when they was like launching them up into space with the rockets, and the things come back down to Earth, land on the ship. That's quite good. I thought that's bloody marvellous, really. And then the nose cone comes down, and they salvage that out of the sea and use that again, which I thought was quite good. But they were saying that the satellites up there, they're obviously getting a load more up there, but over time they'll start, when they're in orbit, they'll start separating themselves out a little bit, so they won't all be together. I thought, oh, very clever. I don't know what it's all for. Big Brother, maybe? Spying on us? Who knows? No, actually, there wasn't a lot of rust on this Metro because I welded it all up and it had a respray, but it was bright orange. Metro. So, yes, probably why the rust didn't show. But it wasn't a rusty orange. It was properly orange with black trim. Being the MG Metro, had like a little boot spoiler. Had MG in the back window, as they did. alloy wheels. I don't know how many horsepower they were, but it was a bloody nippy car. Really nippy. Obviously, when I put the new engine in it, it was even nippier. You see, the MG Metro only had 110 miles an hour on the speedo, but it used to go straight past that. Yeah, it was quite nippy. Of course, and tested out on private roads, of course. Because, you know, we didn't race around or anything like that. One of my mates had a Mini, and we used to... He used to drive it, obviously, and I used to hang out the window like it was a motorcycle sidecar, you know, the sidecar racing. Because the wheels, he used to corner it so hard that the wheels used to come out off the ground. So it was Matt Sharp had a Panda. Of course it'd beat a Panda, bloody hell. Panda's only got about 30 horsepower. So yeah, I used to hang out the window, going around the corners, and then when he used to go the other way, I used to lean behind him in the back and yeah, keep the wheels on the road. We had a race back from Skegness. Yeah, I won't go into that too much detail though. Don't want the law catching up with us. Anyway, I'm going to get on because it is nearly 10 past 10. Oh, Daryl Bland's pig. Now that is an experience in itself. Ollie's mate Daryl turned up and he had a yellow plastic pig, freewheeler, and I'd never driven one before. So I said, come on then, Daryl. I'm going to have a drive in your car. I didn't give him any options because I got straight in the driver's seat. And he said, well, I'm coming with you because the gear stick comes out. He said, careful when you go from first to second because the gear stick will come out. Anyway, I went up the road. Oh, I've never been so scared in all my life. Went round a corner, 2 wheels. Flipping heck. Parked it up. I says, you can have that back, mate. I says, it's a pile of shit. Never want to go in one of them things again. But, did he ever have a 4-wheeled one, Ollie? I'm not sure. I know there's another lad up Old Market Avenue. Dip, if you can remember Dip. It used to go to ATC. He had that C90. He had a 4-wheel. It was a Reliant Kitten, wasn't it? The 4-wheel version. I didn't know if Daryl had one as well. Because if it's shit, Daryl's likely to have had it. But, yeah. Oh, I don't know. Ho, ho, ho. Oh, actually, the Reliant Kitten that Dip had caught fire. And it melted. Apparently they went out to it and it was just a big pile of molten mess. All the wiring had caught fire and the fiberglass had all just disintegrated and it was just finished. Yeah, they are made of fiberglass. And they're horrible. But they're quite nippy. I will give them that. Because they don't weigh anything, do they? But yeah, awful. No, I don't think they're a motorbike engine. They're a 4-cylinder Reliant engine. I'm not sure what they was designed for a start. They said like a 850, 900cc, something like that. The earlier ones, I don't know if the earlier ones were a motorbike engine. The Regals. But he had the Reliant Fox. Yeah, there was a bit of a funny one with the plastic pigs and a motorbike licence because they said you could ride it on a motorbike licence if you blocked off the reverse gear. I thought, well, that sounds bloody silly. I think that was just a bit of an old myth. And then someone said, oh, you could drive one at 16 if you take the seats out. Yeah, I say we had mopeds at 16 and then, I say, car at 17. And I must have been about 18, 19 and I did my bike test. Back in the days where you could pass your motorbike test and get on any motorbike you liked. Not like this. Pass your test and you're restricted for 2 years and all that crap. Which is probably a good thing, but not for us. I remember we were still on our 50cc mopeds. One of the lads, he'd gone and passed it. He turned 17, passed his test. He had an RD350 LC, passed his test, and then got on FZR 1000 X-Up. Now I wouldn't do anything different. Still do the same. But it would be nice to go back and do it again, but know what I know now, if you know what I mean. But having said that, before I bought my first brand new motorbike, Mum and Dad says, oh, you want to put your money into a house? What do I want a bloody house for? 20 years old? Come on, I want a new motorbike. And I could have bought a brand new house for £12,000. The motorbike was £7,000. So I could have probably paid that house off, probably bought more houses, and been a lot richer than I am now. But anyway, you don't listen to your parents when you're younger, do you? So, oh dear. I wanted a motorbike. Come on. There you go. But Dad was as bad. He bought a brand new Hammond organ. And I think at the time the Hammond organ was the same amount of money as a brand new Ford Cortina. But he had a Hammond organ instead. No. Years ago down in Kent, you wouldn't have probably needed a car quite as much because you had a bus stop outside the house. On a bus, up to the train station, off into London. Didn't really have a lot of use for a car. Oh well, we do these things, don't we? Anyway, it's now 12 minutes past 10 and I've been on for 2 hours 15 minutes and I was only going to be on for 1 hour. So I'm going to get off now and start getting my camera set up. And yeah, they sent me another video the other day and she on it again. Bye for now. It's like, whoa! I ought to trademark that little slogan. Bloody cheek. No, I don't waffle as bad as Mum. If Mum was here, I wouldn't be able to get a word in. I don't know if they're watching this or they're going to watch it at some point because Mum often watches the live streams afterwards. Yeah, Mum does like to talk. So, yeah, I'm going to get off. I'm going to say goodnight. Thank you all for coming. And probably do another one again in a fortnight. We'd have got a few more jobs done in a fortnight, hopefully. We'll have a little bit more to talk about. And so, yeah, I'm going to get off and get all this camera gear set up and just wait for the street light to go off then. So, from me and Hobbit in the other room, it's bye for now.